Oh boy. Mixing it up a little bit in phase 3 of GOTB. Sorry, I've been really shitty with the videos lately. I've just been really busy with, well, believe it or not, work. And then working on my dad's place. I actually totally forgot to do one GAC battle, so there will be one less video for me to put out or take forever to put out. So, but I don't think anyone's really going to miss it. We have more fun with the PvE stuff nowadays anyway, since PvP is just a little too much. So a few of us tried bounty hunters with SLKR in GOTB Phase 3. Boss lead. Boss lead partially because it keeps everybody else alive, well, at least of the other bounty hunters, and partially because Django's lead requires debuffs, which, although I do have 4 up right now, 5, Phase 3, the enemies have a lot more tenacity. Phase 4, the enemies have an impossible amount of tenacity. So getting debuffs on the enemies with Django lead is going to be very difficult in Phase 4. So I wanted to see if it was viable in Phase 3. Maybe we'll try this in Phase 4 and then run a full crew team to try and get a 3 out of 4 there. Unlikely I'll get a 4 out of 4 unless I have the best RNG. So this works really well, unsurprisingly, because SLKR can really basically solo, even in Phase 3. I wouldn't advise trying, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is, in fact, possible. But the bounty hunters with SLKR is good. It is very good. A lot of people don't really use bounty hunters in GOTB, either because you're donating them or because, under boss lead, they just don't really have quite enough DPS. And then under Django lead, they have the DPS, but they have no survivability. So just throwing SLKR in here makes a tremendous difference, makes this team completely viable. And then again, like I said, theoretically you could run a full crew team, which in Phase 3, you can probably almost definitely get a 4 out of 4 if you have your first order to the levels where you need them to be in order to get SLKR. Very, very, very doable in Phase 3. Phase 4, not so much. Pretty RNG dependent, but still a good team, full first order without SLKR. So as soon as we finish this, clearly this one works, you will see my next test with the new look Darth Vader. I'm going to tell you right now at the outset, I made a couple of boo-boos. It could have been better than it was. I still get 4 out of 4, but I made a couple of boo-boos, so I definitely could have had a cleaner 4 out of 4, and you will see that as soon as these last 2 clones die. And there we go. Great news is I finished working on my dad's apartment, so if anyone's looking for a 2-bedroom apartment on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, let me know. I have one I have 2 for sale, and my dad's actually has a 3rd bedroom that could also be a home office, depending on what you're looking for in the age of Corona. So right at the outset, rather than summoning the Rocketeer and putting the Watt taunt tech on him, I put it on Shore. So right at the outset, I made a boo-boo. I could have had 2 taunters, and who cares if the Rocketeer dies, because you can just summon him again. So right at the outset, I made a boo-boo. Not fatal, obviously, but I made everything a little bit more difficult for myself than I really needed to. I threw Canderous in here, even though he's only Relic 3, and he's not particularly well modded. He's modded for offense, but like a mediocre set by my mod set standards. But I threw him in here for the extra dots, plain and simple. Watt, Vader, and Canderous dropping dots is not bad. I would have put Wampa in here, but I forgot that I donated my Wampa. Alternatively, you could also put OG Kylo in here if you are not running him under first order, but for argument's sake, let's say you are, so I put Canderous. Again, you could also go for Wampa. The problem is, and you're seeing it a little bit already, is that we are not landing nearly as many dots as we would like. Need more tenacity down, so I have some of those, which is always good. But yeah, a lot of tenacity even in phase 3. So I don't really think Vader is going to work in phase 4 unless you can figure out a way to get tenacity down on everybody quickly. Maybe a Vader lead with Zombie and Daka. That could work. It's going to kill your Night Sisters team, with which you could usually get a 4 out of 4. But for argument's sake, that should work. Canderous putting tenacity down there from time to time is helpful. But my Relic 3 Canderous is not strong enough to handle phase 4 GOTB. At least I don't think he is. But then you run in the same problem if you run Wampa. Wampa's not going to be able to get his AoE dazes. Canderous might actually be better than Wampa because at least he's putting tenacity down on there. But again, Zombie, Daka could be very, very, very good there. But yeah, it's fun. It's still fun. I'm still hanging on here, even though I made it unnecessarily difficult for myself by putting Wat Tontek on Shore rather than Rocketeer. Because if you summon Rocketeer with Shore or Vader, he's going to be very, 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 very tanky. Luckily, Wat is there to cleanse all those dots off of Shore. Here we go. Finally got 10 dots on someone with a tenacity down. But yeah, so if you run this, make sure you put the Taunt Tech on the Rocketeer and not Shore Trooper like my dumbass, because that was really stupid. And then the best part is when I lose Shore here in Wave 4, I end up putting the Taunt Tech on Canderous instead of B2. Fat-fingered it for you. You'll see in a minute. This is probably the worst team to face, is this 5's GK clones team, because counters, mass assists, yeah, it is not a good one to face, even with this team. Luckily, Vader is a straight savage. We can probably take out GK here, or at least next swing. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Let's go for medic. So this is where me, right at the outset, putting the Taunt Tech on Shore rather than the Rocketeer gets a little dicey. Didn't have to be this dicey. Let's get a Fracture on 5s, even though Shore's going to die right now. There he goes. Yeah, so don't make that mistake. But it's a very fun team. I wouldn't try it in Phase 4, but it's a very fun team. Unless I end up having to donate my Night Sisters. I don't know who I'm on the donate list for Phase 4. So, see, there we go. That was another mistake. So, 2 mistakes. I still get 4 out of 4, but 2 mistakes. 2 very stupid, easily avoidable mistakes. Just have to be paying attention, which clearly I was not. Yeah, I don't know who I have to donate. So we'll see. Yeah. Kind kind of disenfranchised right now. I don't even have a real reason to. I don't know. I'm really happy with the Vader rework. I'm really happy with the Luke release. I don't know, man. I just feel kind of right now. Been playing a lot of Game of Thrones. Haven't had to spend $1. Incidentally, I have spent a few dollars, but I haven't had to. I've actually spent more on Game of Thrones than I have on Swiggo in the last month, which is I spent $5 on